Hello everyone, welcome back to Real English Online. Today we're back with the ECPE exam again, the speaking specifically, and we're going to be having a look at part 2 of the exam. Now in my other videos I showed you how you should go about tackling this part. In this video I'm just going to give you some little expressions that hopefully a lot of you already know, but have a little look and find out. So before we get to that, a reminder though, okay? So remember, okay, when you're summarizing your points to the other person, you don't want to sound like you're listing points, so you can't just read them out, alright? You want to make your points clear to the other person, and this is why you need to use some expressions, okay? So, and especially the second point here, if your points are very clear, it's easier for the other person obviously to pick out your 6 advantages and your 1 disadvantage, and it's making their life a lot easier, which will make both of your lives easier in the next part, alright, and score you higher marks too. So you don't want to use oval formal expressions here, okay? So this part of the exam is still informal. You can occasionally put in there, you know, another furthermore, moreover, in addition. Use maybe one of these expressions, but you don't want to be like using all of these expressions because they're a little bit too formal for this part, but the odd one or so is fine. But don't make it overly formal, alright? So let's have a look at some of these expressions anyway. So here we are. So when you're summarizing your points, you could say another positive aspect of my option is the fact that, okay, a lovely inversion here. Not only does this candidate have a lot of experience, but also she participates in charity events. You know, a way of putting 2 points together. Alright, very nice. Firstly, secondly, finally, standard. Okay, if you're using these words, this is the easiest way of telling your partner, firstly this, secondly that. You're basically saying to him or her, hello, I've just changed point. Alright, very nice. Another advantage of this option is, again, very easy. Some slightly trickier ones coming up now. You could say things like this. We should also bear in mind that this place would be an excellent place for a school trip because we should also take into account, which means exactly the same. So use one of these, not all of them. We should not forget, or we shouldn't omit that. And another point to consider is, I think I've already got that one. Alright, so these are some expressions that will help you when you're summarizing your options. So these next ones that are coming up right about now are for you to respond. So after a person has summarized their options, remember, they're going to ask you, so which of my 2 candidates or 2 places do you prefer? And this is what the expressions that you could use to respond. You could say, after hearing both candidates, I think that Sarah is by far the best because, and remember, keep it very brief here. You don't have to give a life history of why you think she's the most interesting candidate. Just, she's the most experienced and this. Finished. Because all this comparison and stuff, we're explaining why, is going to happen in the next part of the test. To me, it makes sense to choose Brazil as the place to host a conference because, alright, I'm certain that Jamaica would be the best place for the World Cup because it's like this, alright, so these are ways for you to respond. Okay, so there are loads of expressions out there. These is just a little taster to give you an idea of the kind of things you can say, alright? So don't just use these expressions, that's not what they're here for. This is here for an idea, okay? So go away, find some of your own expressions that no one else will use, but you can kind of see the idea of what I'm getting at, hopefully. Yeah? Alright, so there's going to be another video for expressions for part 4. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.